this most important topic about personal development. And you know, the definition of personal development is to improve yourself. And who wants to get better? Who wants to have healthier relationships? Who wants to have better finances, a healthier body, and a more successful business? And it all comes from personal development. Jim Rohn says that we should be working harder on ourselves than we do on our jobs. What does that mean? To work harder on yourself than you do on your job? By reading positive books, listening to motivational audios, to refine our philosophies, and to have a more positive attitude. Work harder on yourself and everything else in your life will get better. Jim Rohn also said that a formal education will make you a living, but a self-education through personal development will make you a fortune. And I've watched so many friends in this business that started from nothing and had broken relationships and were in a hard place in life come out like a beautiful refined diamond here. And I'm not just talking about the money, I'm talking about the person that they became, the relationships that they were able to restore, the marriages that they were able to restore with them and their spouse, and all the beautiful things that happened as a result of getting into personal development. Because in life, you will face moments that require you to channel your inner superhero. And what I mean by that is you're going to face obstacles that come your way. You're going to have people say mean things to you, and you're going to have to muster up the courage to respond to them with love. And personal development is what's going to make you take the high road on those things. When I got started in legalshield, I was 24 years old, and I was immature. I had a lot of personal developing to do. But because I was on a path of personal development, and my team, I was recruiting people twice my age. Why the heck would they want to follow someone half their age and immature? And they could teach me everything about life. But they saw that I was on a path of personal growth. They saw that I was committed to wanting to get better, so they came along the journey. And I appreciate you for being patient with me, team, all of these years. So, what I wanted to talk about is how do you do personal development? Well, first thing we need to do is set a time in our day to read 10 pages of a positive book every single day. Who's reading a book right now? Who's reading a positive book right now? I mean, I know there's some novels out there that are interesting, but maybe not help us personally develop. So every day, are we reading the pages, and are we listening to the positive motivational audios? Who's found a good podcast that they like to listen to?
Self-talk.
Self-talk, what else?
7-figure standard.
Self-talk. That's the one. You got to subscribe to it on YouTube. I like listening to you guys, too. You guys are so cute. I love listening to Craig Groeschel's leadership podcast. I know John Maxwell and Tony Robbins have positive things, and the information is out there and it's free. But I want to talk to you about the law of the lid. See, the law of the lid, John Maxwell likes to explain that we cannot expect followers to grow beyond their leaders. So if you look at this chart, you could, on the bottom, have the most dedication to your success. You can have the biggest enthusiasm as possible. You can try as hard as you want, okay? At the bottom, success, dedication. But if your leadership ability is a 1.5, then you're going to attract a team that's anywhere from 0 to about 1.5. And I will say this, if you're working the numbers enough, you will find somebody that's more personally developed than you that recognizes that, comes on board, and is willing to surpass you, which is what we dream about. Right? We all want people that are better than us, and that will happen if you're working the numbers. But in general, if you are, for example, the second one, if you're an 8.5, or I'm sorry, on the left-hand side, if your leadership ability have a leadership ability between 0 to around 6.5. What does that mean? That means the law of the lid is us not expecting that our team can grow beyond our leadership ability. But the good news is, you want to hear what the good news is?
Yeah.
We can all get better. We can all get better by growing and listening to those tapes of personal development. You know, Proverbs 29:2 says, when good leaders rule, people rejoice. But when the wicked reign, people groan. Would you agree?
Amen.
Now, none of us in the room are wicked, but some of us might need an attitude adjustment. I'm just saying. So, we talked about the law of the lid. Let's talk about some great books that you can start with right now. One of them is The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by my favorite author, John Maxwell. Jack Canfield wrote The Success Principles. I'm loving The Success Principles. I'm rereading it right now on my Kindle. And I learned something new this morning from The Success Principles. He said, learn how to silence your inner critic.
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah.
Your inner critic might be saying, you messed that thing up. Why did you have to go and mess it up? Are you going to go and mess it up again? Why try again? You're just going to mess it up again. That's what your inner critic says. Learn how to silence your inner critic and learn how to bring out the inner coach in you. Start listening to your inner coach. Your inner coach instead would say, come on, you got this. You got this. You know you can do it. You know you can do it if you try.
Yeah.
Start talking to yourself like your inner coach. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey's another good one. Leaders Eat Last is an incredible book by Simon Sinek. Building an Empire by my favorite leader and author, Mr. Ryan. And the 3-Page Legal Story by our founder, Carlton Stone Spider. So we want to create good habits every single day. How do we do that? Well, we wake up. I know I have a morning routine. So as soon as I wake up, I go to my Bible app, I'm doing my devotional, and then I read my personal development before I get out of bed.
Yeah.
Before my feet hit the floor, I want to get my mind in the right space. The second thing we can do is we can start exercising. Tony Robbins says motion creates emotion. Motion creates positive emotion. So when we're in motion, a body in motion stays in motion. But a body at rest wants to stay at rest. And usually when I go take a walk in the morning and I do my exercise, I come back and I feel excited to make calls right away. But if I didn't do my morning routine of exercise, I miss it because maybe like the kids are running late or something like that and I get back and then I've got an appointment. I miss it. I just don't really feel like making the calls as easily as if So to make it easy, how do you get to making that habit? I found this great habit tracker on Canva. If you go to canva.com, you can find any habit tracker in any design that you want. And I love this one. So what it is on the left-hand side, you write down all the habits, the positive habits that you're trying to do. So we're doing our personal development, we're reading our 10 pages of a good book, we're listening to our audio, and every time you do it, you get to check the box each day of the month. Maybe you're trying to drink 8 glasses of water. Once you get to that 8th glass, you get to check the box. Maybe you're trying to make sure that you do your exposures, no matter what, every single day, and then you get to check the box. Now, in the beginning of the month, my check marks were very inconsistent. It was like here, and then here, and then this. But as the month went on, my check marks continued to get more consistent. By the end of the month, I was having a better score than in the beginning of the month. So it takes time to build a habit. Be patient with yourself. Be willing to laugh at yourself. Okay? And that's the compound effect. So reading our 10 pages every day, understanding the law. Oh, did I go all the way back? No. Okay, here we are. Yes. So in recap, we're reading our 10 pages a day. We understand the law of the lid. We're doing our personal development daily to raise our lid. And what happens is when we change our philosophy, it starts to change our attitude and the way we respond to people differently.
Right.
Because the immature Liz would have dated a guy and something would have happened and I would have acted a certain way because my philosophy was one way, versus learning how to be a patient and obedient and respectful woman to my husband, which makes our relationship work. There is a book called Love and Respect, and a great relationship book, where it's about the man needing respect and the woman needing love. And as long as he feels respected, he'll give love. And as long as she feels love, she'll give respect.
Amen.
But then there's the opposite effect, because if one feels disrespected, doesn't want to give love, doesn't feel love, doesn't want to give respect. But at any time, you can be the bigger person to change it around. You can be the one that breaks the pattern and the cycle and decides to be the one to give love or give respect without expecting anything in return. And as a result, look at so much of this. Kim, Steve, and Mike Melia talk about the secret to success in network marketing. I love this quote. And they say the secret to success is to have a large group of people doing a few simple things consistently with a good attitude. And the key is to having a good attitude. When you have a good attitude, you then decide to take action. And